Hello, welcome back. So I am starting off with a 30 ounce straight, and I honestly do not remember where I got it from, but it doesn't matter. It is straight because I want to do a full wrap on this tumbler and then also do some glitter stripes. So I wanted it to be, you know, exactly around, all the way around, so that I could get, you know, perfect placement. So I took my ruler here that has a level on the bottom, and I just made a small mark on the cup with a pencil. Nothing too perfect. I mean, not necessarily not too perfect, but a straight line. It doesn't have to be completely visible, because what I'm going to do is take a piece of masking tape and I'm going to do a straight line with that masking tape all the way down from that pencil mark that we you know, made with that ruler. So once I have my straight masking tape, that means I have a straight line in order to start this vinyl. Now the vinyl is not geometric or any like stripes or anything like that, but I do like to try to get it on there as straight as possible, in the sense that just so the pattern looks, you know, even all the way around. Also gives you practice, you know, for when you really need to be straight. So I just took I just released the edge of that vinyl and I put it right up against the edge of that tape there. And then I just take my soft side of my squeegee thing here and just push the backing off of that vinyl. This is going to allow for you not to have very many bubbles or crinkling or anything, as long as you keep that backing on there and just kind of pull and just kind of push that backing off as you go around. So as you can see here, I moved the vinyl back, and then I am going to take that piece of tape and I'm going to place it right on that edge so that I have a straight edge to cut on when I put that vinyl back down, and then I'll be able to lift it back up and then take that tape off of there. Here I'm just using my squeegee to kind of push the vinyl up against that tape there so that I have a perfect edge to cut right down the back side of this cup here. And I just cut right along that tape line there, and then I'm going to lift up that remainder piece there and pull up that tape, so we will not be needing or using the tape any longer. It does have a little strip from the back side, and then that's it. We've cut our vinyl. And when I do this type of full vinyl wrap with these stripes, I do like to bring the pattern vinyl all the way down to the bottom. I think it gives it a much more finished look, but this is totally up to you. You could slice it down right off the bottom and then just like glitter the bottom or put vinyl or whatever you want to do, paint it or whatever. But I do like to pull it really tight. I am doing this very fast because this video is very long or it can be very long, so I tried to speed this up a little bit, but I just pushed it down, and then continued to kind of work it down and push it down so that I could have that full look on the bottom. And then of course I'm just trimming the top rim there so that we can have a clean look on the top and get, you know, be able to expose some of that stainless steel so that the epoxy has a place to go to. So let's get into the fun stuff. I have used these double-sided tapes so many times. I just love them. I got a pack off of Amazon, but then I also found some at the Dollar Tree the other day, so I snatched them up because I wasn't sure if they were the same sizes that I had or whatever. But I tend to use them so often for a lot of different things, so I just snatched them up. But anyways, I was trying to figure out, you know, what size I wanted to do. Now, my idea was I wanted to do a stripe, and then I wanted to do an outline, like if you would have done a vinyl stripe on the side of the stripe. Instead of doing that, I wanted to do that with a double-sided tape with the glitter. So I wanted it to have a different look, so I was trying to figure out what size stripe to originally go with, and then what size stripe to go on the outside. Once I decided, I now have to figure out how many stripes to make it, you know, aesthetically pleasing, I guess, if you will. So I took my measuring tape and I was like, okay, I'm going to measure from here to here and then divide that out with how many ever glitters I decided. Now, I threw all these glitters down here and I was like, okay, I'm going to use these. But then once I started doing the math and started figuring out the stripes, I realized that there's like a certain way that I need to do the colors, and then I need something that I need to do with the outline stripe. So I took my measurement here and I measured it out for the width of the tape that I decided to use, and then the width of the actual cup. Now, these are going to vary as far as if you have a smaller cup or a bigger, wider cup or whatever. So just take these types of situations into consideration as far as, you know, making sure you've got the right measurements for everything so that it looks, you know, like it was meant to be. So now I've decided on my glitter, which is above, and I have decided on the size of the stripes. I have measured them out, and now I'm going to apply the double-sided tape as straight as I possibly can. Because you put the vinyl down on here, this double-sided tape will come back up. You can't do it too many times, but you can lift it up and, you know, replace it, you know, place it appropriately where you need to. So I'm going to speed this up tremendously because this does take quite some time to do all these stripes, glitter them, and all of that. So I just took my pencil marks that you definitely cannot see, but I could see them. They were just slight, tiny little marks on there, you know, and I was covering them up with the tape, you know, in between the line or wherever I had decided that this is going to be the mark, you know, that's where I just took the tape. I knew it was going to be covered up, so it didn't matter. But I took all I think this is like 1/4 inch or something like that, but it worked with the amount of stripes that I needed, the length of the cup, and then also the stripes that I wanted to outline it with. So, you know, these are just whatever look you're trying to go for. You know, I'm just giving you some tips here. And this, I'm just taking that smaller tape and outlining each and every stripe on the top and the bottom so that we would give the illusion of a, you know, a pinstripe around the stripes, but it's actually a glitter pinstripe. And the glitter that I chose for this is a gorgeous mattish, pearlish champagne color from PDB, and I used some Chase Ray and some Peachy Olive glitter, and I'm telling you, this glam, shabby chic look just really came together. I was questioning myself the whole way through, but in the end, I was very, very pleased with it. So just trust the process here, and hopefully you'll see it all come together. Okay, now that we have all of our stripes on here, we're ready to remove the paper so that we can expose the double-sided tape. Now, I've done this plenty of times on my channel, so if you want to go watch, you can watch multiple videos, or you can I promise it's very easy. Just remove the backing and then just sprinkle it on there. And then what I do here is I burnish it. Like I do my finger and just kind of burnish that color all the way down. This is, I think, Alexa Rose or Aurora from Chase. I haven't learned all my Chase Ray colors yet, but it is absolutely stunning. And you don't want to remove all the tapes unless you're doing the same color all the way down. Now, I chose to kind of do a gradient look on this, but if you were to be doing different multiple color, I mean, if you were just doing one color all the way down, you could totally remove all the tape and then go from there. But if not, make sure that you are removing the tape one at a time and you are cleaning it up, brushing it off, and that kind of thing before you move to that next color. I hemmed and hawed over the colors so many times that now that I'm doing the video, I cannot remember the exact colors that I chose, but I will definitely have everything linked down below once I actually look at it and see what I actually did. I will do the research for you and I will put it all down below. But anyways, I just make sure that you are doing what I'm doing here, which is burnishing that glitter, sticking it into that double-sided tape, and then make sure you are brushing it off. Now, I do know this one. This is Carly Crew from Peachy Olive Glitter. I've had this for quite some time, but it is still available on the website. But I actually thought that this one would be the lighter one compared to the last one that I put on the bottoms. I might debate myself on which one is the darker one, but whatever. I did it. It was already done. There was nothing I could do at that point. But the other one seemed darker, but it kind of became this gradient kind of look in colors. And at first, I didn't know if I liked it, and then it just all came together in the end. So, yeah, trust the process. See, what do you think? I definitely thought in the jar this one seemed darker, but once I put it on there, it did not read the same, but oh well. It still looks really cool, and I was very pleased with it. So now I have removed all of the stripes that were on the outside of each and every stripe here because I'm going to be using one color, and that is that matte pearlescent kind of color from PDB, and I cannot remember the name of it. But anyways, like I said, I just kept going back and forth. But it is absolutely stunning, and I just thought it gave such a cool look on the outside of each one of these stripes. I was extremely pleased with the end result. And you definitely want to make sure that you're brushing everything off, that you're getting all the stray glitters off of here before you seal this thing up. I try not to do chunky when I do double-sided tape, but some of these were just a little bit of a mix, and so I just kind of took it and rolled it just to kind of flatten it out just a little bit, just to make sure that I had a good flat, surface with all that glitter on there. So I sprayed the heck out of this. I put about 3 coats of clear gloss spray from Rust-Oleum, and I made sure that if I rubbed my gloved finger on this before, that there was no glitter that was spreading or migrating anywhere around the rest of this cup. I wanted that vinyl, that leopard rose vinyl, to show through. We were going to be doing other things to it, but I still wanted it to. I wanted that glitter to stay where it was, so I sealed it at least 3 times I know of. So I might have gone back for a 4th. I don't know, but it was at least 3. And once I started rubbing, like I took my gloved finger and just kind of rubbed all the way down there. I didn't have any glitter move, and so I thought, we can do this. We can go ahead and go with epoxy. And in the end, I really did not have any movement, so it was nice. So this is the first of 2 coats of epoxy before I do any kind of sanding or any kind of anything, sanding the rim or anywhere around the cup. I want to make sure I have 2 good coats of epoxy. So this was the first one, and then I went into a second coat right after this. So the reason that I came up with this cup was I wanted to redo my stripe cup that I had done a few months back, but I wanted to do a little different. I wanted to use this vinyl. This vinyl was the inspiration for it all. And then I found this shabby chic look on Creative Fabrica, and that was it. I was like, those 2 combined together, I don't know, is going to come up with, I just knew it was going to come up with something really cool. So this was the first, I mean, this is where I did the print and cut, and I did the roses and the butterflies, and I also did the pearls. Now, when I do print and cut, I always put a piece of tape over that those black marks, because it really does help keep the Cricut aligned. I don't know why, but it just, I don't know, it just helps out a lot, and it also helps stick the printable vinyl on the mat, because I don't know about y'all, but my mats are always never sticky, so I just forget it and I just put tape on things. Now, I measured these stripes to make sure that whatever size I was making these butterflies and roses were going to fit right in there. They weren't going to cover up any of my line, so I made sure that I did that before I started to print these off. Now, I will just be honest, I had printed off the pearls and I printed off the butterflies and the roses, and I didn't have an exact plan, but I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna alternate these. And then I left the top open because I was going to put these pearls kind of draping down the top, but that was best laid plans and all. My print and cut, or my Cricut blade, who knows, but it just tore those little beads up, or it was too small, I don't know, but they just did not come out right. So I ended up leaving the top blank. So I just kept kind of going. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do butterfly, rose, and then this is when I decided that I was gonna do those pearls, and I was going to have them kind of draping around, and I thought it would be really, really cute. And this is the best stripe that I got out of the whole thing, and I think it would have really looked cool, but it just, none of them, they just didn't cut right. You can see me trying to like peel it up, and all the little beads were like cut one by one, and it was just, so I decided to just leave the top part just blank, and I just went all down and just went to the bottom rest of the rows and just went with the design on that. But I like to put things in here like this because I want y'all to know that nobody is perfect. Everybody has problems. I have a problem every single time I open my Cricut and put something there, or I have a problem with every single cup. I mean, something happens, but you know, sometimes in these videos I don't put it in here because it's kind of like I'm trying to move along and get y'all the information that you really need. But I wanted to show y'all this process because it did take me a minute or two to kind of figure out exactly how this look was going to come out. So I'm just going to speed this up because I kind of went back and forth and hemmed and hawed and, you know, was trying to decide on what I was going to do. And I went from one side to the other side of the cup, and I was like, okay, we'll put a butterfly, a rose, a butterfly, rose. And then I decided that I was going to flip it on the side and just do them, you know, on all four sides of the cup, if you will, if it was, you know, squared off. But that was the one side and then the other side, and then I decided to do that side and then the other side. So then I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I've decided this is the look. Well, then I realized that I didn't cut enough of the butterflies, so I had to go back to my Cricut and cut some more butterflies. And I just measured the bottom to be like 2.65 or something like that. I wanted it to go all the way from edge to edge. And so this is my extra butterflies here. I cut the butterflies along with my logos because I never waste a piece of vinyl. As far as printable vinyl, always print extras of my logo. And then that little circle there is the circle that I'm going to put on the bottom. And as always, I am covering this entire thing in Mod Podge to cover up all that printable vinyl and the circle that we have on the bottom. So now that the Mod Podge has dried and we're ready to go into our coat of epoxy to cover this up, we're going to cover it with just 20 milliliters, 20, 25 milliliters probably. And what I did was I put an extra like 5 to 10 milliliters in a little cup off to the side. Now I'm taking Royce from Radioactive Glitters, and I'm just putting that in the epoxy to just kind of make it a little bit thicker, and just so that it would kind of stay where I want it to. And so I am just taking this and mixing it and putting it right in between the images, right? So I don't want too much glitter but in between there, and that's why this glitter is perfect, because it's just like this champagne iridescent color, so it's not going to take away anything except for it to add sparkle. Now the roses and the outline of the butterflies, they had kind of this gold trim, and like, so with the roses, I wanted this gold sparkle to kind of come off the cup. Now Kelly Norris with Dixie Darlings does this all the time, and this is where I got this idea, because I was kind of like, it does need a little bit something more, and so that's when I decided that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna add some glitter where there is not actually glitter. And I went back with Royce and I just kind of sprinkled it in a little bit. I felt like we needed just a tad bit more, but it was very, very minimal, and just to add just a tiny bit more sparkle. So I went in with 2 extra coats of epoxy. The first one I did, then I had to do a little bit more sanding, get it smooth and straight, clean up the rim a little bit, and then went in with that final coat of epoxy, and it was done. I made this for a very special somebody, and I was really hoping that she would see my vision, that she would understand that I just had this idea in my head and I needed to get it out. And so I thought, this is the perfect person, somebody that appreciates art, appreciates tumblers, and she loved it. And so I love it too. I hope you can recreate this. I'll have everything listed down below. And if you do, tag me, join my group. Creative Fabrica is linked down below, and it has all of these images here. And that's it. And I'll see you next time.